Guess what? Happy New Year. You made it. Now what? That is the question. Now what? What's your next move? That's the most important thing each and every day throughout the day is what is your next move? And here's the problem with so many. You're not living with intention. You don't really got a plan. You ain't writing shit down yet. Because you're just still thinking you can figure it all out in your head. You think that by thinking about doing good things, thinking about switching up, that somehow it's going to happen. It ain't going to fucking happen unless you do this one thing. Self-accountability. And for me, it's writing it down with real clear intentions. And if you're not doing that yet, that's something you need to integrate every single day, no days off. This is your time. If you've been hearing this message, if you're just getting on, giving this a listen, it's your time. But it's your time to do what? See, that's the thing. It's your time, it's my time. How do you invest your time? And if you look back at your life, yes, we are creatures of habit. Yes, we create patterns for ourselves. And the thing about it is, moving forward, we need to get done with the past, right? We need to let go of the past and give ourselves the ability and have the willingness to start doing what I'm calling pattern interrupts. It's also known as doing some new things. And where can you start doing new things? If it was me advising the old me, which may be the you right now, I would look at my morning routine. And there's obviously all kinds of morning routines that exist out there. But one of the most powerful, non-negotiable, every single day, no matter what I'm doing, right? We all got earbuds now. We all got access to the net, listening to positive affirmations. And the thing is I'm saying listening to positive affirmations. You can just have it playing in the background. You can just have it in your ear as you're doing whatever it is that you usually do for your morning routine. But yet you're adding it into there. It's kind of seamless. That would be where I started, morning routine. Well, the thing about the morning routine is if you really want to take that to the next level, you really need to look at your nightly routine. And I highly encourage you to challenge yourself to look at when you're going to bed, can you get to bed a little earlier in order to do what? What do you think would help you for your morning routine? Waking up a little earlier, even if it's just 30 minutes earlier. I know a lot of people are hard pressed in the mornings, and yet that's where I would start. Is looking at the morning routine, which ties into the nightly routine. And again, in my morning routine, it's been this way for many years. Affirmations, breath work, journaling, right? And the breath work is done as I'm listening to the affirmations. It's literally just getting some real intentional breaths. Just doing some intentional breathing, just sort of connecting with your body like you're coming out of sleep mode and you're coming back to life, right? You're getting back into the reality. And it's a beautiful thing when you really start to connect with your breath. Because when you do that, you start to slow things down. You start to actually connect with what really matters in your life, what's really going on. We get so caught up, man, like the world and all the stresses and all the responsibilities and all the bills and all the the pains and sufferings, it don't stop. It doesn't stop. If you're focused on that though continuously, because for some reason you've told yourself that that's as good as it gets, or you can just keep, you're going to figure it out at some point. Some point you're going to figure it out in your head. That's never going to happen. Affirmations, breath work, journaling. 1, 2, 3. Every single day. You and me, right? And everyone else hearing this message. That's where I start. That's where I would start. Doing some pattern interrupts. And I think once you start really spending some more time in journaling, it's kind of like journaling. Most people are like, well, what the fuck does that even mean? What is journaling? I used to ask that, right? And I've developed what I think is probably one of the most coolest, funnest, simplest resources on planet Earth. I think there's nothing like this on planet Earth. It's called the 1% Better Everyday Journal. I think that it in of itself is the complete tool that you need to, one, start learning about journaling. It starts you off with some gratitude. It starts you off with some reflection. It also has some reminders in there about building that morning routine. And then it gets into, setting things, personal priorities for each and every day, things that matter. And that's when you actually are visualizing and writing down the things that matter to you. Maybe it's as simple as something as like no snack food today, right? No TV. No to cigarettes, no to drinking. Yes to a workout. Yes to preparing a healthy meal, right? What matters to you based on what? Your values. This is a values conversation. And the 1% Better Everyday Journal literally guides you through it. It was such simplicity that it's sort of like, even if you think you're an expert journaler, right, myself included, I developed this for me. And I'm so grateful to be able to share it with you. So if this is something you're interested in, definitely click on the link below. Check out the video with me walking you through more details as to how this resource can truly help you to activate one of the most important ingredients of this whole entire life experience. What is it? What is the most important ingredient? It's self-accountability. Ain't nothing getting done if you aren't able to literally say what you mean and mean what you say. And it's like, it's one thing to believe that you can get shit done. But unless you start to take inspired, listen to that word, inspired action that aligns with your values and these beliefs, nothing's getting done. Believing is really just thinking. It's passionate thinking, that's belief. Believing is passionate thinking, but is it passionate enough to spark a flame inside of you that then starts to activate your action mode? Taking action, doing things, doing new things. These pattern interrupts are really going to be the secret sauce to getting things done. And that takes a lot of self-discovery. It takes a lot of reflection about what you are currently doing and what you're not doing. If you want to shift any aspect of your life, any area of your life, you need to do what's called a pattern interrupt, which means you need to probably stop doing one thing that no longer is benefiting you and start doing another. And of course, we've all heard it, man. New year, new me, but you already know the truth is you woke up today and you still have the emotional wounds. You still have that negative mindset. You still have doubt. You still have fear. You still have grief. You still have pain. You still are suffering. You still got some addiction issues. So let's shift from new to why don't we find out who the true you is? The true version of you this year. Let's make that the goal. Let's make that the thing that we all aim for, is to say, how can I truly figure out who I truly am? And I talk about this a lot. When I hit my rock bottom, and, fast forward another 7 years after the rock bottom, when I got divorced, I woke up 41, and I was pretty down on myself. Almost to the point of deleting myself. And, I had to ask that question, who am I? And I'm asking you to ask yourself that. And again, this is something that's packed into a lot of the content that I put out there in terms of the curriculum on the Results Kill Excuses app, the self-discovery work. Who am I? Because your ego knows who you are. A lot of you, your self-image is really the worst parts of who you think you are. It's not even the good things. At least it's nothing present. Like, some of you are still stuck, be honest. Some of you are still stuck on some of the cool shit and accomplishments you did 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Some of you. 40 fucking years ago, man. The shit you did in high school, the shit you did back in the military, the shit you did in your 20s, right? The shit you did in college, whenever, right? You're still stuck on that version of you. And that's what you're grieving right now. That's why you're not moving forward, because you're so sad that it's like, oh man, that didn't last the rest of my life. And it's like, we have this limiting belief that somehow change is bad. And it's like, no, change is good. Giving yourself permission to change, to evolve. And it's like, you need to change your nutrition. You need to change your habits. You need to change your patterns. You need to change your sleep schedule. You need to change when you wake up. You need to change your thoughts. You need to change, out your bed sheets. You need to change out, the way your room is organized. It's good to move energy around on a regular basis. Stagnant energy is dead. It's literally being dead. Who the hell wants to be there? Walking Dead. When you got this incredible gift called life. You have the most incredible gift in the entire universe. The fact that you're a human being. The fact that you can literally tap into your mind, tap into your creativity, and literally manifest things through the vision into the physical world. It happens. And that sounds like, oh, well, that's just certain people. No, bullshit. There's nothing that exists on this planet that's human conceived that didn't first start as a thought. Now, here's where that is really messing you up right now, is that I can guarantee you that 6 times, right? You're 6 times more likely to have negative thoughts than positive thoughts. Well, where the hell do I get that stat from? I get it from the emotional wheel, which is there's literally 1, maybe 2 on some wheels that are positive categories. And then it's like the other 8 are all negative. The other 6 are all negative. And so you're like, at the end of the day, man, those positive affirmations are so important. It's such an incredible, undervalued resource. And it just sounds so like, really? How can that really help me? I hear you. I hear the skepticism. I hear the doubt. But again, if you're not using it, are you willing to make a pattern interrupt throughout your day, not just in the morning even, not even just for 5 minutes. If that's what you got to start with something. I mean, that's one of the most shocking things with a lot of people that I've been connecting with is none of them are using positive affirmations on a consistent basis. This needs to happen. Trust me, if you start doing that, oh man, your life's gonna freaking transform. Your thoughts are gonna transform, and your thoughts are what attaches to your emotions. And the more uplifted you are, the more positive you are, the more hopeful you are, the more optimistic you are, the more confident you are, the more you truly believe that you can turn your life around and make some drastic changes, that you're not helpless, that it's not too late, that right now is the time, and that the most incredible days of your life are here and now moving forward. If, there's a clause, if you start to embrace this journey. It's a spiritual journey. It is the purpose of your life to figure out and to become the best version of you, which is really just being the truest version of you. Through all the pain, through all the suffering, we're not that. You're not your pain, you're not your suffering. That's a huge thing that we need to disconnect from. You're not your guilt. You're not your mistakes. You're not all the failures of your past. Do you hear this? You truly are everything that is not that. That is the false self. That is not the self that goes with you to eternity, into the heavens, into the spiritual realm. You know, you're given permission to shed that skin. And this is the year of the snake. This is the time for you to shed your skin. Well, how can you truly shed your skin if you don't really allow yourself permission to really do a deep dive and really make accountability for everything that you've been through? All the people you've hurt, all the people that have hurt you, all your mistakes, all your failures. Like literally, that's like the most incredible journaling exercise, is for you to just account for your life. And that's what self-discovery is all about. It's about getting below the surface, looking in the mirror. And so many of us, we have really negative self-images. We hate ourselves because you see yourself through your mistakes, through your flaws, through the guilt, through the hard times and the bad times and the things that have caused you emotional pain. And it's like, until you identify this in writing, you don't do it in your head. If you think you're going to do this shit in your head, you're going to be stuck for a long time. Maybe this whole lifetime. I'm just telling you right now. Huge warning. No cap. Those are facts. It's not until you're ready to start writing this shit down, really reflecting on all the shit you've been through, and getting it all out. It is like, you talk about a relief valve. When you get it out of your head and onto paper, there is like this sacred process that happens. You really do relieve it from inside of you. And you can now look at it. So many of us, you're so afraid to look at yourself. To really look at yourself because you don't like what you see. But here's the thing, until you're able to start loving the person you are right now and love them so much that here's the next piece for this year, that you're ready to start caring for that person. And when I say caring, I mean, I'm talking real fucking caring, man, like real shit. Like actionable caring, man. You don't fucking, I love this analogy. Imagine yourself like a baby. Would you give a baby drugs, alcohol, really heavy processed food, right? Too much food, right? All kinds of like digital stimulation, right? All kinds of negativity. Would you give them that, a little baby? The chances are no one would do that. And the process that I continue to reference that's called reparenting, it is connecting with the inner child. We all have an inner child inside of us. And that's why the baby analogy matters so much, because you have this part of you that is very wounded. Because again, most, if you don't think you experienced any trauma or any emotional discomfort between 0 and 10 years old, then this message isn't for you. It really is not. Like, you're good, right? You're good. You've got it figured out. You should actually be putting your message out there, because people need to hear that. Because the mass majority, what's actually normal is emotional trauma from childhood. And the reason why the baby analogy, it sounds stupid, right? You're like, oh, come on, man, that's kind of dumb. It's kind of a dumb example. It's actually not. Because what it's going to take for you to heal your emotions is to reconnect with the inner child, to really listen and hear what that child went through. Right? Write these things down. Write down your story. And a lot of us, some people have literally forgotten this stuff. You've shut it off. You've literally told yourself, I don't want to have a memory of this, so I'm going to fucking create it. I'm just going to white it out, my childhood. I've ran into many people that have had that experience. But the reparenting is going back in with, as the greatest parent ever. Not your parents, not bad parents. It's literally saying, I'm going to be super dad, super mom, and I'm going to go rescue my inner child. I'm going to go show up for them like never before. I'm going to become the man or the woman that I needed in my life when I was that age. I had people in my life, but because of their own shit, it wasn't enough, and it left me pretty fucked up. And I'm just speaking on behalf of myself, and I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of you. The damage that happened in your childhood, it still persists. It's not gone. You're grown up, and you're like, fuck that, man. I'm not a fucking kid no more. It's like, you're right, you're not, but yet you're still acting childish. You still have anger and unforgiveness in your heart, and it's time to let that go. Letting that go is really your key to freedom. That's your freedom. If you want to be set free, if you want to truly see some drastic changes in your life for the best, some real positive results, it really goes through that portal of reconnecting with your inner child, right? Being there for them, identifying everything, understanding everything that they went through, that you went through in those early ages. And seeing it with eyes of compassion, not eyes of judgment, not re-aggravating the bitterness and anger and the hurt and the fucking like, oh man, I want to go on a warpath and I want to take out everyone that ever hurt me. It's like, that's not it. That's not it. The real it is forgiveness. And a lot of us, that's an area that a lot of people struggle wrapping their minds around, their spirits around, is to say, how do I forgive people that hurt me, right? And being unforgiving is, you're drinking poison. You're drinking poison, hoping someone else dies. And in many ways, the sad thing, and that's not even a metaphor. Because many of our addictions are self-medicating patterns, my own included. My alcoholism was definitely me trying to numb my pain from my childhood, from my adolescence, throughout my life, right? Which is poison. Alcohol is poison. And, wishing that, or not even understanding why I felt the way I did. That's the sad thing. I just know that I didn't like the way I felt, and that got me some temporary relief. Well, if you want long-lasting relief, you can get that. And maybe you need some help. Maybe you need some professional help, right? Get some therapy. I go to therapy still. Maybe you need someone like me, the greatest accountability partner on planet Earth. Reach out to me. If you haven't yet, I'll connect with you. I'd love to connect with you. Greg@resultskillexcuses.com. Right? Schedule an appointment. Tell me a little bit about yourself and show the fuck up, and we'll have a good conversation. And hopefully we can come up with some ideas and at least start to scratch on the surface. I think even it's just a huge pattern interrupt for you to ask for help. I know when I hit rock bottom, going on 13 years, I knew I needed to break up with alcohol. I knew that was the biggest thing that was just perpetuating and holding me back. It was stunting my growth. It was keeping me in a state of perpetual pain and suffering. And, I was obviously self-destructing with the use of it. So I gave it up, and I gave it up for good. And I never, ever, ever have any desire ever, no matter what the celebration is, no matter what happens, no matter where I go, if anybody offers me alcohol, it's just like, it's not even a thing, man. I'm so done with it. And that's another aspect, right? Is having that like fucking internal fortitude to be like that frame of mind of like, I am locked in, man. I'm not turning back. I'm not looking for quick relief. That's already been your pattern. Most of you, if you have emotional pain and suffering, your pattern has been to look for quick relief. Look for things that give you temporary relief. But you already know you're so fucking tired of that because it doesn't last. It never lasts. You know what lasts? You know what does last? Forgiveness. Forgiving people that hurt you. Having some compassion, right? And setting yourself free. And you don't have to, this is energetically, you don't have to go knock on their door and crawl back to somebody that hurt you. See, that's your fear, that's your ego wanting to hold you back. When you start to imagine shit like that wait, in your mind, you're saying, here's a guy telling me that I need to forgive someone that hurt me. And it's like, that's ass backwards, right? Because in your mind, they need to be crawling back to you, but you're thinking you got to go crawl back to them. It's not about that. There doesn't even have to be a physical exchange if there's a lot of pain and mistrust and hurt between you and somebody else or other people, right? This is an energetic thing. This is you going inside your heart of hearts and truly doing a forgiveness ritual of really setting people free. But first, you're not going to be able to do that until you can see that ain't nobody innocent. I've been saying this. Here's a math problem. Write this down. Right? Write this down if you can get a pen and paper. One guilty person plus another guilty person equals two people that need to be forgiven. That's the greatest math problem on earth. You're a guilty person. Well, how are you guilty? They hurt me. Yeah, but someone hurt them. They hurt you. And then guess what? Yes, you, little goody two-shoe, you hurt someone else. And they didn't deserve that. And then by you hurting someone else, they went and hurt someone else, and they went and hurt someone else. And it never ends. It never ends until you choose for it to end. And that's what I'm suggesting to you right here, right now. Be the person that draws the line and says enough. It ends with me. No more. I'm not going to pass on this pain because the chances are you already have. But you can stop it and then reverse. You can reverse the pain that you've caused other people. First, you forgive yourself. You have to first acknowledge, though, stop looking at the people that hurt you and start with how have you hurt yourself and how have you hurt others. And once you really kind of wrap your head around that and have that awareness to be like, man, I have hurt myself. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm actually poisoning myself. I'm actually killing myself by some of the habits and patterns that I have. I'm actually just wasting my life by some of the things that I'm engaged in. And it's time to do some pattern interrupts, disrupt some of these patterns. And is it going to be painful? Fuck yeah. Right? You're going to have withdrawals. You're going to be like all itchy and scratchy. And that's just, that's something that you need to kind of sweat out. And that's what's good about having community. And if you haven't gotten involved, I highly suggest that you do download the Results Kill Excuses app. Man, there's 25 free lessons. Right now is the great time, right? It's the new year, new me shit. It's a good time to start doing some self-discovery. There's over a month of free courses there, but there's even a greater resource there. And it's off of the socials, because I truly do believe there's Soul Tribe. We are Soul Tribe that are connecting with this message. If you are hearing this message, not just listening for entertainment purposes, but hearing it in your heart, in your soul, in your energy, you're just like, man, there's something about this guy. This is making sense, but it's pretty fucking weird. I know it's scary, but one of the greatest resources is the community there. We have a community chat that we can start interacting and connecting with people, with each other, figuring out where do we live. Because eventually, like this year, or for sure by next, I'm going to want to bring people together and do like a, little mini retreat, right? Where we get outdoors, Y'all can come down here to New Mexico, or we can meet somewhere in between. But, I want to take people out hiking, doing breath work, connecting, doing life, right? Do it like guiding through some of these forgiveness rituals and just some of the spiritual practices of really living this life on life's terms. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I hope that that's something that you can be investing vision and energy into, but let's start cultivating the connections now in the chat within the Results Kill Excuses app. It's the perfect spot for us to start to connect. I promise you, the more that we get to know each other, we're going to be like unstoppable as a soul tribe. I mean, we're definitely some game changers. And I just think about that just as I look in the mirror. I look at what I've accomplished and how much I have transformed and turned my entire life around. And I know I'm attracted like-minded people. We're just at different phases of this evolutionary journey, spiritual awakening. And it's like, we're some fire breathers, man. We're some game changers. We're difference makers. Ain't no doubt about it in my mind. You may be still questioning if all this makes sense, right? But I'm telling you, we don't got to do it alone anymore. We can do it together. We can do it collectively. And I hope that you'll take some time to do that. Also, take some time for self-care. Self-care. Ask yourself that. I'll finish with that. What does self-care even mean to you? That's a new concept for me even. In the last few years, it was really, okay, I got divorced. Then I started dating. I got in my first long-term relationship post-divorce. And man, that one was a heartbreaker. I fell hard. I fell in love. And I got my heart broken bad. And coming off of that, I needed to do a lot of work, a lot of inner work. And that relationship was transformational for me, right? That's also an empowering practice if you've gone through a real tough breakup or heartbreak, be able to define these relationships in empowering ways, knowing that they happen for you, not to you. It's an opportunity to grow. And knowing that if you can remain hopeful, work on yourself, that make peace with it, you can always maintain some kind of openness that somehow maybe you and that person, if you're meant to be, if destiny is calling, that you guys reconnect. But do some work, do a lot of work first. And the work that needs to be done is learning how to care for yourself, right? And that's a regimen of things that I do every single day. It's my 5 daily principles for keeping my cup full energetically. Minding my mornings, mindful mornings, eating my health, right? Making sure it's a superfood, high quality nutrition, moving my body, right? Exercising on a regular, learning new things every single day, and making a difference, which is lending a hand in this world. And I know that you're capable of doing the exact same thing. So the self-care, I mean, yesterday I got an incredible massage. I got some cupping, you know. A lot of it is also, I love the hot springs. I like the cold water. I love going outdoors, hiking, right? Meditation, breath work, clearly intimacy. If you're in a relationship, right? That good quality connection, right? Sacred magic, sacred sex is something worth reinvigorating. If you're someone that is in a relationship and your intimacy is really kind of plateaued, you know, working on yourself and knowing the importance of that is a powerful, powerful thing. But really be thinking about self-care. I know a lot of people don't even realize what that is. You know, get your hair did, get your nails did, get your body worked on in all kinds of ways. Exercising clearly, outdoors, nature, earthing. There's so many things. It's something to research. Spend some time researching and thinking about ways that you can better care for yourself this year. Beyond that, man, I'm rooting for you. I'm so excited to take every single day, right? 1% better, not getting too ahead, not staying stuck in the past, but just moving forward gracefully, peacefully, in alignment with the energy that's here now. It's going to be incredible to see how this evolves in throughout 2025. What an incredible, there's a lot of momentum going, and I'm going to keep it going. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I'm so grateful to welcome each and every one of you into 2025. May we learn to grow closer together, to build each other up, cheer each other on, and stop with the tearing each other down. I love you guys. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.